Today we're looking at Sony's A7S E-mount camera with full frame sensor. So let's kick this off with the fact that this camera is 12.2 megapixels with 35mm full frame sensor. The A7 combines phenomenal sensitivity ranging from ISO 50 all the way up to 409,600. And if you haven't got a clue what ISO is, let me just explain it like this. The higher the number, the more sensitive your camera is in low light. And this sensor goes by the name of the Exmor CMOS. Also, this camera has the Bions X. No, not that game from the 80s. It's actually a processor. Utilizing high-speed processing capabilities, it's able to reproduce textures and details in real time, which gives you natural colors, more realistic images, richer tones and gradations, and lower noise no matter what you're shooting. Now, if you're looking for a camera that you can fit more attachments to than Batman's utility belt, then this camera could be for you. You can rig this camera up with so many attachments that it wouldn't look out of place orbiting the Earth. But realistically, it makes for a bit of kit which is perfect for videographers. The accelerated Bions X, no, not that game from the 80s, image processing engine enables area-specific noise reduction and detailed reproduction technology to be applied to movies, which basically means you get amazing detail, filming at 1080p, which is full HD. Also, you have XAVCS. Now how can I forget this? 4K, or as some of the other brands like to call it, ultra high definition. Now this is something that Sony have really been pushing. This camera has 4K output capability, which allows recording in high quality 4K. And this camera has an HDMI output, which supports 4K, which means you can play back your videos to your 4K television or monitor. When filming in standard HD, this camera can shoot at a remarkable 120 frames per second. Now most cameras have a viewfinder, but hell no, this camera has a true finder, an XGA OLED True Finder to be precise. I have to admit, True Finder sounds like it could be a pretty good superhero name. Now if you're not sure what OLED is, check out my video, OLED versus LED. The True Finder is a nice feature as it shows the effects of your camera settings. Sony's high-end features like 100% frame coverage, wide viewing angle, information display modes, peaking functions and focus magnifier are also provided with the True Finder. Now this is a pretty cool feature. I wish they attached this to the old PS3. It has an anti-dust mechanism which vibrates ultrasonically to remove dust from the camera, especially the image sensor. It also has an anti-static coating which helps prevent dust settling on the sensor itself. On the back of the camera we have a tiltable screen, which surprisingly isn't a touch screen, but it does allow you to film at high and low angles whilst using the LCD screen. This camera has a magnesium alloy body which makes it surprisingly strong and surprisingly light at just 489 grams with the battery. It is also dust and moisture resistant, which if you live in England where we only get 1 week of summer a year, this could be handy. Now if Sony learned anything from Mr. Miyagi, it was and focus fast. This has a fast intelligent autofocus feature, which means you get ultra high autofocus speeds even in low light. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this camera has E-mount. You can also buy for this an A-mount adapter, which lets you discover the possibilities of Sony's existing 30+ professional lens range. And how could we forget the NFC feature? Of course this camera has NFC, which means you can share with just one touch from mobile phones and other devices. So that's it for this What Gear review of the A7S. Now if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please hit the like button and subscribe. And I'd like to leave you with this song. Take it away, Mr. Miyagi.
Singer. How you doing, Mr. Miyagi?
Uy, 何屋さん。Kamintay.
What's that song you were singing there?
Japanese blues.